Today I want to talk to you about life lessons I've learned from poker. And if you're wondering how the hell you can learn anything about life from poker, I can appreciate that if you've never played. It's a seemingly simple game, but beneath that, there's a lot of complexity that I think you can apply to your own life that I want to share with you today. One of the things you learn quickly on in poker is that your position matters. In particular, the dealer button. It's the last person to act, so the person has to either bet, fold, do check in front of you, and then you get to act. And that position is power because you have all the information you need to make a decision, and that holds true in life. Like whether you're in negotiations or conflicts, it's usually important to go last. It's important to see what the other person's saying, what the information have, so you can make the most informed decision. In relationships, it's you have power if you're willing to walk away. In business deals, similarly, you have power if you're willing to walk away. Other sources of power are, you have education, you have status. Those positions are power, and you act from a place of strength rather than scarcity. For example, when I was a grad student, I didn't have much power. I was in a position of lower status, so to speak, and I was subject to the whims of my advisor, who, let's just say, sometimes wasn't too pleasant. As I, graduated, got licensed and credentialed, I had more power. I had more flexibility. And, that position of a licensed credentialed psychologist is way better than a graduate student. You just have more autonomy in your decision making. That comes with a cost, obviously, of you have to stand by your decisions, but nonetheless. So position is power. Act accordingly. Number two is variance. So variance is this phenomenon like you could go all in with the best hand, say pocket aces, but a percentage of the time you're going to lose. And that's just due to the variance, meaning cards are going to come up. There are certain probabilities that things are going to happen. Meaning you could go all in with pocket aces, but a certain percentage of the time you're going to get cracked by lower pairs. You're going to lose to pocket twos sometimes, some pocket threes. Life happens. You can still play the best hand and lose. Similar in life, you can do all the right things, but sometimes shit happens. Maybe you get cancer. You weren't accounting for that one. Maybe your partner leaves you. Like, it is not fair, but there is variance to life. And so thinking about how can I respond to this effectively versus this is not fair. Because essentially, you encountered variance. And there's going to be, it's similar to like a weather pattern. There's going to be storms and you have to kind of weather that storm. However, that's when it's really important to make good decisions. And that kind of brings me to my next point of poker is don't play on tilt. So tilt is this phenomenon where, a player starts winning a lot or losing a lot. Tilt can go both ways. And they start acting on emotion. So maybe they lose a couple hands, they lose a couple $100, and then they start playing really, really aggressively. They're on tilt, right? And then they start losing more money and it spirals and spirals and spirals, right? So they call that chasing losses. Similarly, like this can happen in life. You can chase your losses, obviously in gambling in general, but let's say with dating, maybe you're really needy and you're getting emotional and the person you're on a date with says something and you react and you're upset, right? You responded on tilt and it's probably not going to go well. Maybe you're really desperate for a job and you're, being a real fucking kiss ass or whatever it is, right? So you're on a form of tilt. Essentially, it's like not basing your behavior on your emotions, but what you think is going to help you get the goal. All right. So more often than not, emotional decision making, I would say on average, is a long-term bad play. There was a time in my life when I was really unhappy with my job. My first instinct was to quit. Just get rid of everything and go overseas, which I had done before. However, after sleeping on it, after consulting with people, I realized obviously that's not a great long-term strategy. In the moment, it would kind of solve the problem, but in the long run, it would create more problems. Another big one I've encountered too is knowing when to fold. So we'll stick with this pocket aces example. Maybe, the flop has a flush, there's a straight out there, and you're beat. But you can't fold. Like emotionally, you feel like you can't fold. It's like the sunk cost bias. Maybe you can't end that relationship because you've invested too much. The term is called sunk cost bias, where you feel like you've invested so you can't walk away from it even though you're losing. And this is really important in life, knowing when to fold, knowing when to walk away. Ultimately, I left the job. I had to walk away, even though I was like, the money was good, the benefits were good, but I had to fold because it was taking a toll on my mental health, and I don't think it was a good fit based on my values. So I left. And I was much happier. I found a better kind of position, I found a better kind of fit, and it's okay to walk away. It's okay to fold them. And so this is just a couple of quick lessons that I hope you found helpful, that I've learned in poker, and hopefully that you can apply to your life. Thanks.